What influence does your environment have when you're writing or developing projects for class?
It takes quite a number of things. Sometimes I feel as if I need a really quiet space that is just all about focusing in on exactly what I'm doing. Other times I need just things around me that catch my eye that might inspire me. Honestly, if I see something that is just really well designed, I look at it and I think about it and I'm just like, wow, how did they get from, hey, this is a chair, to this is a better chair? And there's better ways to elaborate on that, but I'm not going to. But it's just, how did you get from point A to point B? Like, how do I get from this paper being just a paper on the evolution of the species to a really great just discussion on different things? Just how do you get from that point to that point? Sometimes that requires me to be absolutely quiet and focused in on what I'm thinking about, to maybe I need loud music, lots of colors. Sometimes just having a random color around me makes me more inspired. I don't know what it is, something about blue, especially lighter shades of blue. If I have that around me for some reason, I think in a more creative way. It's weird. That's how it is.
Okay. When you're doing homework or projects for class, do you find that certain places, objects, or even physical movements help you think or come up with good ideas?
There are certain objects. In particular, I love dry erase boards. And probably the biggest reason for a dry erase board is you can represent things with so many different colors. And you can use it to sort of step your way through a process. And probably the most beautiful thing is nothing's permanent. When you use a pencil or a pen, there's sort of a permanence to what you're writing down. And with a pencil you can erase it, of course, but it takes a lot of time to go and reverse the idea before you can go back to it. With the dry erase board, I can mark it, erase it, go on to the next step of whatever my idea might have been. And that's something I love. I almost wish in classrooms when we're taking notes and we see professors go off on their own little rants with the dry erase board, I wish our notebooks worked that way. Because when you're doing your notes, you're always writing in step, 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 and then they go back and they elaborate on a step they had already made. But we can't. We have to somehow subvert that. And I've probably found my love for dry erase boards probably last year, but it's an amazing tool. And I almost wish every dorm had it, because when you just have random ideas, you'd like to be able to plot it up on a really big dry erase board really quickly and just sort of run with it. And there's not too many other things that work exactly that way, I don't think.
So let's call the behavior that you discussed play, since we normally don't associate it with academic writing and thinking. Now, how does the Knoll Studio space, for example, the design, layout, and colors, facilitate play when you write or design projects for class?
There's dry erase boards everywhere, so there's plenty of room for play in this space. Just the untold things that you can do with the dry erase board is amazing. And then there's also Legos in the space. So I love using Legos and Play-Doh because they allow you to just have something in your hands to play with instead of just looking at a project or paper in a certain way. You can just sort of get in there and mess with your hands. Now, not every class lends itself perfectly to this, but sometimes, like in physics, if you're working on a hard physics problem and you're looking at, well, this isn't hard, but if you're looking at gravity and its effects on things, you can ball up a thing of Play-Doh and you can drop it off a ledge and start looking at it and think about, well, what really influences that? And you can just use this physical thing that you just made to really diagram that. And you can see how changing the shape affects it and start to really just model that. There's other applications for it, but just being able to get hands-on and just playing with something in a space, even though it sounds goofy, it really does help you kind of get through the mental block of why am I not understanding this concept.
Could you discuss how available technologies like touchscreen monitors and also the furniture and dry erase boards facilitate and encourage play in the composition process?
Well, I've already kind of talked about my extreme love for dry erase boards. But they just allow you to diagram things and just have a safe environment for creating things and not feeling like you're wasting things with a permanent mark. As far as the furniture goes, just having it all being movable and ready for you to lay it out in exactly the way you want or exactly the way you need is something that's really nice. A lot of places you're just not really encouraged to be able to move things how you please. So I'm a big fan of that. Having technology that is accessible and free to use is a really big thing for it. If you need something to finish a project but you don't own it, just having that available to you to be able to check out, use as you need in the space, that's really a great thing to have. Having touch screens, honestly, I love the idea of touch screens. I haven't really been able to use them as much as I would like. There's some technologies coming out where it's more on the way of being able to use it with your hand and a pen, but being able to do things with a pen on a touchscreen would be nice because it would almost be like making a digital dry erase board. Being able to play with things with your fingers is great, and being able to manipulate it is great. But being able to also have fine mechanic creation would also be lovely to have. It's just my particular thing against touchscreens.
So, as you know, the Null Studio has movable tables and chairs and also has a variety of spaces. For example, the breakout spaces, which we're in, the greenhouse, and the invention space. How do you think these resources and spaces, together and independently, encourage you to play as you're working on projects?
So the breakout spaces sort of give you your own little world, your own little space and environment where nobody else is watching you. There is opaque glass where nobody can really see what's going on. They can see that people are in there and see that things are actually going on. But you and your group mates, it's your own secluded little thing where you have your own dry erase board where once you have your ideas down, you have a camera that can capture the ideas. And then you have so many little things that you can do in a breakout space. The invention space is by far my favorite space in the entire Noel Studio because of its extreme wall of dry erase boards where you can just flow and do whatever you need to do and there's no real limit on your space. That's something really nice. And then you have the Play-Doh and you have the Legos right there that you can use. The greenhouse I haven't used as much. I don't particularly like being out in the center of things where everybody can just kind of look in and see what you're doing. So that's probably my problem with it, but I love the way it's designed in the middle where you just have these small tables with these grand round stools that you don't normally expect to see in just a regular academic environment that you can sit on and just sort of enjoy. You don't always get furniture that you can really enjoy. Once again, very weird thought. But I don't know. I like things that are just out there. Because if you see something that's out there and it inspires you, then it's doing its job. It's getting you to think out of the box. And that's something that I think all of us need to do because I'm sure it would make not only our lives richer, but it would make our professors' lives more enjoyable if not every paper they read sounded like it came from the same exact 3 sources that have great informational material, but if somebody actually took the time to
just think out of the box and provide something new. I think that's something that all of us could really benefit from.